Welcome to the ultimate guide on balancing calisthenics and weightlifting. Whether you're just starting out or you're looking to level up your training game, this video will show you how to combine these two powerful disciplines for maximum results. Calisthenics, the art of mastering your own body weight, while weightlifting is about pushing external loads to build brute strength. Both have their own unique benefits, but when you bring them together, you get the best of both worlds: strength, flexibility, and functional fitness. Now you're probably asking, why should you bother combining calisthenics and weightlifting? Number one is the strength gain. Weightlifting is going to be your go-to for building max strength. It's like upgrading your engine. It builds raw power by lifting heavy. Calisthenics, on the other hand, is like fine-tuning that engine, enhancing your control over your own body weight. Together, they make you not just strong, but powerful and agile. Flexibility and mobility. Calisthenics shines here. While weightlifting can sometimes make you feel stiff, calisthenics keeps your joints and muscles flexible, reducing your risk of injury over time. Lastly, functional strength. This is where the magic happens. By combining these two training styles, you're not just lifting weights or doing push-ups. You're training your body to be more functional. It's like upgrading your daily life skills. Things like lifting grocery bags, climbing up stairs, or even playing sports with your friends. You'll be able to do all these things at a higher level, with more power but less effort. Before we dive into this workout plan, there are a few things we need to check off our list. First is going to be having a basic fitness level. You need a decent level of cardiovascular strength and basic strength. If you can walk up a flight of stairs without getting winded and can do a few push-ups, you're on the right track. And now the moment we've been waiting for. Let's get into the workout plan, starting with Monday, weighted push day. We're going to start this workout the exact same way we start every workout, with the perfect warm-up. If you have an exercise bike, spending 5 or 10 minutes on this is going to do wonders for your warm-up. After that, grab a light resistance band, keep your thumbs pointed upwards, and pull that across your lower or middle chest. Do your best to keep your arms straight and keep a controlled movement throughout the entirety of this warm-up exercise. Really try to feel your muscles working and activating through this. And now to top off Monday's warm-up, we're going to finish it off with standard push-ups. And every time we do push-ups, you know we're using strict form, making sure to go full range of motion, retracting that scapula at the bottom of the rep and protracting it at the top of the rep. Now that we're warmed up, we're getting into the strength training, starting it off with an incline bench press. Use whatever you have access to. If you have access to a Smith machine or a barbell, then that's even greater, but if you only have dumbbells, that's just as good. Use whatever is going to give you a challenge to get 4 sets of 6 reps. Following up this exercise, we're going to do shoulder presses, 3 sets of 6 reps as well. Again, use whatever variation works best for you, whether that's a Smith machine, barbell, or just regular dumbbells. Shoulders are incredibly important to your physique, but also incredibly important in calisthenics and weightlifting. They support our function for most exercises, so we definitely want to make sure they have some stability and mobility. Again, whatever's going to give you a challenge for those 6 reps. The next exercise is going to be weighted dips. We don't have to put a crazy amount of weight on our weighted dips, but make sure you add at least 5% of your body weight. It may not seem like a lot at first, but trust me, over time, you're going to be flying through the movement. As we move on to the final portion of Monday's workout, you can see we've switched from compact movements over to accessory movements. If lateral raises are not one of your favorite shoulder exercises, you need to get familiar with them because they're going to build you some bolder shoulders. And you can do them either seated or standing, whichever variation works best for you. Try to push yourself, but don't use too much momentum in this exercise. And finally, one of my favorite exercises, I'm grabbing a bench here and keeping it at an incline bench press level. Notice how I'm keeping my elbows and arms in the same position and pulling through the motion. Since I'm using this bench for leverage, instead of standing up, it becomes an incredible tricep workout. Everyone should try it. Next on the list is Tuesday, weighted pull day. To no surprise, we're going to start this day off on the exercise bike as well, and then move into our banded pull-aparts. However, since it's pull day, we're going to also add in some scapula pull-ups. You should think of this as an inverted shrug, where you shrug your shoulders away from you. This is great for practicing putting your joints in the correct position before you do any kind of pull-ups, which will lead to a more consistent activation while also avoiding injury because you're putting your joints in the right place. 2 sets of this is fine for you to get the movement down, but if you feel like you need a 3rd set, just go for it. As we get into strength training, we're going to be doing weighted pull-ups. 4 sets of 6 reps, we're going to be using something that challenges us, but again, at least 5% of your weight and you'll be good to go. If you're not at a weighted pull-up or weighted dip level, it's perfectly fine for you to just do bodyweight dips and bodyweight pull-ups instead. Make adding weight a goal for your future. Following this is going to be unilateral rows. You can never get away from the row pattern, but I want you guys to pay attention to my form in this. You can see when I'm pulling the weight straight to my hip. Pulling the weight to the hip like this is going to help you target your lats. Moving towards the final portion of our workout here for Tuesday, we're going to be going to face pulls. You don't have to go too heavy with this movement, just go for something that gives you a nice good challenge and that you can get 3 sets of 10 reps in. I want you to really pay attention to squeezing your muscles at the top of the rep and giving a nice smooth eccentric. The negative portion of the rep should always be smooth and controlled throughout the entirety of this exercise. Your future bolder shoulders will thank you. Almost done here, we're going to be going into dumbbell curls, 3 sets of 6 reps, and even better, you can see I have my back pressed against the wall to make sure I'm not using any momentum to get these weights up. Remember, when it comes to curls, no momentum and no arching. And now, the final exercise for our pull day is going to be lat pull downs. We're going for 3 sets of 8 reps. And you can see when I pull down, I'm making sure the bar at least travels past my eyes. It's okay to lean back a little bit as you pull the bar towards you. And as the bar tries to return to neutral, so should you. Moving forward to Wednesday, the weighted leg day. We're really going to get our use out of this exercise bike, 5 to 10 minutes to warm up. Leg days are very demanding, so this warm up is going to be a little bit different. We're going to start off with bodyweight squats, making sure to go for 2 sets of 10 reps. Squat as low and as slow as you can. Focus on keeping your chest up, squeezing your core, and pushing through your heels through the entirety of the squat pattern. Then we'll switch to lunges. Do 1 set of 10 on each leg. Go low and slow. Make sure your knee does not touch the ground or barely taps it. Finishing up our leg day warm-up with glute bridges, doing 2 sets of 10 reps, making sure to drive our hips into the sky and keep a nice and stable position at the top of that rep. Squeeze your glutes at the top of the rep and make sure to lower yourself into a smooth eccentric. The thing about leg days is that we have to do some of our accessory work first, so our squats have a greater chance of success. Really focus on the eccentric portion of these unilateral calf raises. Try your best to force a negative of 3 to 5 seconds before returning back to neutral. Quick tip when it comes to leg curls, move your seat up and lean forward. Yes, the next exercise we're going to do are leg curls. We definitely need to get some blood flowing in our hamstrings, so doing a nice set of 3 sets of 8 reps should start to get our hamstrings flowing. And lastly, before we squat, we're going to do RDLs with medium to light weights. 2 sets of 6 reps, nothing too crazy, making sure to hinge our hips and control our body as we move ourselves forward back to neutral. In my experience, I just find when I train my calves and my hamstrings before my actual squat, my squats are more resilient, they're more stable, and most importantly, they're more strong. So now that we're getting into our squats, 4 sets of 6 reps, this is definitely something that you want to go heavy on. This is where we're trying to beat the allegations here that they say calisthenic athletes have nothing but skinny legs. Nah, this is where we're going to beat the allegations, guys. After squats, we're going to choose some dumbbells that are medium to heavy. We're going to do Bulgarian split squats, 3 sets of 6 reps for each side. Bulgarian split squats are a dynamic hybrid exercise between calisthenics and weightlifting. We definitely can't avoid them. There's too much gains left on the table by not doing this exercise. I'm not going to lie, this exercise will probably be the hardest part of your leg workout. The Bulgarian split squats after the squats is going to be a lot to ask of you. So if you feel like it's too much volume, don't be afraid to reprogram it for yourself. And finally, ending off our leg day with leg extensions. And as you can see, I've actually moved my chair back and I'm leaning my upper back into the chair. So remember, leg curls you lean forward, leg extensions you lean back. Give it all you have here. Next up is Thursday, our core mobility day. This warm-up is going to be a little different. We're going to start off with hip circles, doing 2 sets of 12 to 15 reps on each side. And this movement itself is going to feel a little weird. Just remember the objective is to start to warm up your hips in all ranges of motion. So don't be afraid to kick your leg out, and if you lose your balance, it's all good. It's something that you can work on. Next up is the world's greatest stretch. I'm sure you've seen this stretch before. If you can copy the pose that I'm in, you'll be feeling it throughout the entirety of your body. Follow this up with the cobra push-up. You're basically in that upward dog position that you see in yoga, and you're pushing up from that position. Despite how it looks, it actually feels pretty great on your lower back. When you're doing this, go slow and try your best not to clench your glutes. After that, we'll do 1 set of typewriter squats, making sure to go to each side at least 10 times. Really sit in each side and feel that position in your hamstrings and your hips. And following this, we're going to do dynamic deep lunges, 1 set of 10 reps on each side. This is also a funny looking position and it does take some getting used to, but after you try it in a couple of weeks, I firmly believe you'll have some more control over this. Again, make sure you keep breathing. And for our last warm-up exercise, it's going to be the Hindu push-up. If you haven't seen this before, it's great for body awareness and great for building strength throughout the entirety of your body. As you can see, the key components are how I swoop down into that upward dog position, but I make sure my groin does not touch the ground at all. Also pay attention to how I bend my arms as I swoop down into the position. And again, you'll see I bend my arms as I swoop back into neutral. For our first strength building exercise, it's going to be hanging leg raises, 4 sets of 8 reps. If you don't do these, you're asleep, because they are king for building some serious abs. Just make sure you're not swinging too much in this movement. You want to maintain stillness, and if this is too hard, I want you to opt out for lying leg raises. As you can see, I'm keeping my hands under my glutes for the most part, and then I'm pushing down into the ground with my hands as I raise my body into the sky. The next exercise is going to be the Russian twist. As you can see, I'm balancing on my glutes and I'm touching from side to side. This is definitely a lot more challenging than it looks, especially if you go slow, and you'll be feeling it a lot in your obliques. If you can do 4 sets of 20, you're a certified beast. Next up is going to be hollow body holds. The key points of this exercise is that I'm keeping my lower back pressed into the ground while my shoulders and legs are off the ground. This is a great anti-extension exercise and it's usable for basically anyone. But if this is too difficult, I want you to switch to a tuck hollow body hold position. Bring your legs closer to your body, but keep those same key points in mind. Finishing up our core workout with the crunch to L sit. This is an advanced one. As you're laying down flat on your back, crunch up and compress your core. If you do this while pressing down with straight arms, you should lift yourself into the air a little bit. If you don't go into the air, that's perfectly fine. Just do your best to compress your core and make sure your hips levitate back. But if that is too difficult for you, I want you to try out hollow body crunches. Go from the hollow body or tuck hollow body position and simply crunch. Try to avoid rocking or any unnecessary use of momentum when doing this movement. And finally, your favorite day, full body calisthenic Friday. Warm-up is going to be dynamic, starting off with arm circles, 1 set, 20 reps, going both directions. Immediately following that, we're going to do 3 sets of 25 jumping jacks. Always remember, the objective of the warm-up is to get warm. You want to be in a gentle sweat. And to end off our warm-up, we're going to be doing high knees, 1 set of 50 reps. Friday's the best day, but it's also the end of our week, so let's make sure we do our best. Getting into our strength training, we're going to start off with some classic pull-ups, 4 sets of 10 reps. Do your best to make sure your form is as perfect as possible, meaning the same consistent activation. And if pull-ups are too difficult, do not be afraid to grab your resistance band, tie that around the bar, and do banded pull-ups. Or if you have an assisted pull-up machine, that'll work just as fine as well. But again, we want consistent and replicatable form and activation. The next exercise is going to be parallel bar dips, again going for 4 sets of 10 reps, and just like I said before, we want strict form throughout this. But if parallel bar dips are not your thing and you need some more assistance, do not be afraid to use your resistance band, like I said before. Just make sure if you're going to use these resistance bands that you're constantly lowering the resistance used. That way we're still getting stronger. As an added alternative, if you can't do either of the two, then simply do seated dips. It's nothing to beat yourself up about. You can still get a fantastic amount of activation from doing seated dips. Just focus on tempo and perfect form throughout this. Next up, we have pistol chair squats for 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. Just remember when you're doing this, you want to really emphasize that eccentric. Try to lower as slowly as you can. And most importantly, keep those 2 arms out in front of you for weight distribution and try to keep that leg extended. Almost done with this workout here. We're going to be doing push-ups for 4 sets of 10 reps. Again, guys, like I said, I want to see perfect, strict form throughout the entirety of this exercise. Make sure you're squeezing that core so we maintain that straight line throughout this push-up. And make sure you breathe in as you go down and breathe out as you press up. And for our last exercise, you know we had to choose it. It's going to be the Hindu push-up. Since you know we've talked about this exercise earlier in the workout plan, you know that it's amazing. It's going to be insane for your strength development, and as you get better at it, you're going to learn a lot about your body. I want you to try doing it out for 3 sets of 10 reps. Each of these reps should be unbroken. And finally, guys, the most underrated days of the week, Saturday and Sunday, rest and relax. Just because you want to be fit doesn't mean you have to be in the gym every day. You can still have fun and go out with your friends and party. To succeed in this workout plan, consistency is going to be your friend. Think of your workouts like a TV series. If you miss too many episodes, you're going to lose the plot. Stick to the plan even on those days when you feel like skipping. Adjust this plan as needed. You can start light, then gradually increase the challenge to keep leveling up. And most importantly, always listen to your body. If you're feeling worn out, take a step back. An extra day of rest is perfectly fine. Adjust a plan based on your own feedback because nobody knows your body better than you do. Go to STRIQfit.com to check out my app and multiple programs.